Jessica, good morning.
Hi, morning.
Thank you so much for joining our summit. I know you and I had a chance to meet a couple months ago, and I heard all about your method, and I remember all of your theories really fit with what we're talking about in the summit, so I'm excited to have you on.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited too. It's perfectly interesting, and I'm very excited.
Awesome. So just to get us started, for those people listening who are not familiar with you and your background, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, well, what's meaningful in this case is I'm Swedish trained dentist. I've been in Chicago for 26 years. We moved, my husband and I, and all kids, four of them, moved together back then. I'm very into public health. I even did a master's in public health epidemiology because I think it's fascinating, and that's where we need to be, I think. And otherwise, I just want people to learn more about how the oral health, as I'm a dentist, is connected to your overall health, and it matters both ways.
Thank you so much. I know when I heard about this for the first time, I was surprised. I'd never heard anyone mention that, and it's certainly new for people on the summit, I'm sure. So tell us, how is oral health connected to your overall health?
Well, I developed, it's not my own, but I developed my 4 pillars that I work around. But the common thread, before I tell you more about those, is that when you have an imbalance in your body or in your mouth, which happens when you eat, for example, anything lowers your pH most often, and that's an imbalance in the mouth. Then you get the microbiome at imbalance as well, because they start growing and taking over. That's when you are at risk for disease. So that happens with all these 4 pillars that I realize they can all feed you to the mouth.
Interesting.
And yes, and then it goes out from the mouth. If you are at disease in the mouth and you have overgrowth of the less favorable microbiome, the bacteria, you can cause diseases, or you're part of causing diseases out in the body, which is being more and more, we find more and more of those. And the latest has been a lot about Alzheimer's, for example. But the cardiovascular disease has been known being connected to oral bacteria since 50 years.
Wow, fascinating. Yeah. So you mentioned microbiome. I think when people hear microbiome, at least me, I think about the gut and gut health. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. So that's what got me going for writing my book I did, and all this work I've done the last 5-6 years around this, because I went to a presentation about the gut microbiome, and the fabulous professor speaking started with he left the head out of the picture, for real, as a picture on the slide even. So that triggered me. What's going on here? I mean, you have to put things in the mouth to go down in the gut. So yeah, that was part of why I got interested.
So, but when you say microbiome, it's also your mouth too, right?
Yeah, so the microbiome in the mouth, the oral microbiome, is the next largest microbiome. It's filled with bacteria, fungi, viruses, and they live in harmony if you're in balance. But when you get out of balance for various reasons, it causes dysbiosis, which is imbalance. And that's when that happens, you're at risk for disease. So if you have less of that, obviously, it's better.
Yes. Okay, got it. So you mentioned 4 pillars, and they're connected to your oral health, or can you explain that?
Yeah. So quickly, I can tell you about them, and then I can give you tips and ideas what to do to boost your health through them. So I looked at habits. Small changes goes a long way, I always said. So I looked at habits around breathing, sleeping, eating, and moving. And what happens with your breathing? Do you want me to go over so you know what
please. That'd be great.
So let's say you have a dry mouth. Yeah, that happens. I'm not dry in my mouth yet, but we're going to talk for a while, so maybe I will be. So that is because you're breathing through your mouth, which puts the bacteria at an imbalance. It's a quick thing, and you can also get better quickly. So if I would stop now and use my nose for breathing, I would feel calmer. I would get less dry mouth. And that is how you blankly affect your oral health.
So mouth breathing is not as good as nose breathing.
So I tried to find, but there's nothing I could find, and please let me know if I'm wrong, that's good with mouth breathing, except that you're breathing. Nose breathing has a long list of positive things. It's antibacterial. The air goes in and it's softer landing down in the lungs. You produce more nitric oxide if you're nose breathing, because that's produced in your nose area. And nitric oxide is a gas, so its currency is right now. It goes away quickly. So you want it to be produced more frequently. And that is fantastic. It's antibacterial, anti-allergenic, helps your cardiovascular disease. It's a built-in cleaning system, basically, to help you.
Wow, fascinating. And that's just from breathing through your nose.
Yes. And it calms you. If you take 1 or 2 breaths seriously in and out of your nose, slow and low, you're going to feel a change.
Right away. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It reminds me, some other speakers have talked about just being a little less stressed and calmer can help with things like cravings and overeating and a lot of stuff like that. And this is like an easy way to just calm yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And when it comes to sleep, you talk about cravings. So if you, when I'm out speaking with people, I feel it's a feeling, but I also took notes. It is the thing people are most worried about, sleeping. So I try to figure out what the common thread is, but it's mostly that people don't get in bed early enough. So the pattern of your sleep is important. And 7 to 9 hours is a little bit of a non-discussion, I think, around. Some people get away with 6 hours, but I think research says that less than 6 is not favorable. So my saying is take your sleep seriously, meaning when it's time for you to go to bed, you can have an alarm on even. Go to bed and find that pattern that works for you, which is most likely a little earlier, it seems, nowadays. And back to your craving, when you're up late partying or having fun or just up doing nothing, you typically get a little hungry and you eat, because the hormones for the feeling saturated and feeling hungry are not working as they should at night. Yeah. And on top of that, as a dentist, your saliva production is calming down with yourself calming down when you're sleeping. So if you eat, you don't get your cleaning from the saliva. So there you go. Then you have multiple things not in your favor at the same time.
Interesting. I've heard that you shouldn't eat at night, but I'd never heard those explanations for it.
Oh, great. So yeah, I'm glad if I can tell you something new. I'm excited.
Yes.
Then, yeah, but I want to talk about your food, because eating habits, which is what I talk about, it's not a diet, it's not a fad, it's more basic things like it's been very popular with the eating intermittent fasting. And that got me going too. I'm thinking, wow, that's just a normal thing to do. If you eat dinner 6 to 7 and you eat your first breakfast, meaning break fast, in the next morning between 7 and 8, it's already 12 plus hours right there. So it felt, when I heard it at first, that what are they trying to make something new of something basic? But it's all good, so people are aware of it. But that's a good start. If you feel like your eating habits are out of line, try to get a pattern when you eat. And my second best tip, I think I been a little down a few days of something, and I tried to buy a soup, because I can make my own soup, but I wanted to buy one as well. Everyone I looked at had sugar in it in the grocery store.
Added sugar in soup?
Yeah, added sugar. And I'm like, so that's my second thing with eating. I think if we start looking at where the sugar is and get a little bit more specific, if you eat a dessert or ice cream or whatever, you know it's sugar in there. So you can contain yourself within how much you eat. But if you don't think about it, that every dressing, every ketchup, on and on and on, have sugar in it, it's hard to lower your sugar intake if you don't look at that.
No, that is a great thing to mention, because I know at Vitamins we have no added sugar. And I have started to notice that, because you're right, not even just sweet foods, but things like pasta sauce, like basically processed foods. And I also have been noticing that sugar comes in different names, now agave syrup or honey or whatever, but it's still added sugar.
Yes, the sugar is sugar.
Yes.
So Michael Pollan has a great quote. I hope I do it justice. Eat food, not too much, and preferably or mostly plants.
Oh, yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, I think that's great because think whole food. There's no labels on an orange or a carrot because it's just a carrot. I mean, you can get the nutrients, what you get from it, you can look up. But so I think it's a good start to make it not so complicated.
Yes.
Actually, I made a carrot soup the other day when I felt a little off. I added tons of ginger and garlic. So I just wanted to boost my immune system right there.
And then you know what's going into it because you're making it yourself and you're not adding sugar.
No, and it takes a few minutes only, actually. You just throw it in your pot and with some water and let it simmer. And then I blended it and I'm done.
Wow. No, that's great. So those 2 tips alone, I think are easy enough to start with, right? Look at the timing of when you eat and don't do a lot of nighttime snacking, and then just watch out for added sugar. That's pretty easy place to start.
Yeah, I'm glad that you see it that way. That's my whole thing. I'm trying to make it, whatever I say, whoever it is I'm talking to, find where they are and what they need, but to make it simple and small things that it's not going to change the whole, every day, and it's going to work for 2 days and then out it goes.
Yes, I love that because I think we don't want people to feel overwhelmed. That doesn't help anything. It's like,
no, it's enough as it is.
Yeah.
And I love moving myself. So maybe that's, but that's not the thing here. I suggest to incorporate moving in your everyday life. So this morning before we're talking, I took a walk to clear my head. I mean, it wasn't exercise. It was just more walking around the block kind of thing. I hope people could find that and find the joy in it.
Yes, I've heard that walking is, you mentioned to clear your head. It does have this like mental benefit because of the rhythms, and it's not just about burning calories, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I didn't think about that at all. It was more thinking about you and what we're going to talk about. And just, I actually also, my mom called. So, I mean,
that's great.
Yeah, to get those things out of the way in the morning. So I think it's the biggest tip I can give. And also find when it comes to moving, we have all these gyms and we think it has to be a big exercise excursion. But I do think it's more about finding joy and finding maybe a friend that you walk with. Or if you have a dog, it's wonderful. I mean, it's just a little self-care.
Yeah, I love that. So you mentioned breathing, sleeping, eating, and moving. And in terms of weight management, then, do you view if you take care of these things, the weight kind of solves itself? Or how do you think about that?
So I typically don't even go there with clients or people I speak with. But I think, seriously, if you do look at all these, I think that's, yes. Because if you have a body in balance, maybe you need to shred a few pounds. So you might have to then decide what's your way to do that, if it's a lesser portions or look at what you're really eating. But if you eat a lot of vegetables, whole food, it fills you. And obviously I avoid sugar and also the carbs, meaning flour. I do love cookies and things, but I try to eat less and I try to find ways to make it without white flour because I like it. So, and I try to make it myself. So I detox my living over the past 10, 15 years a lot.
And what is it about white flour that causes you to avoid?
But it's a carb. So all the carb sugars fall in the same bag. And that is putting, what's it called? Your whole system can take care of it if you don't. I mean, it's too much. We don't need that much of it as we are eating, actually.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Energy you get from fat and protein as well. I mean, muscle building is from proteins. Yeah.
So your body has to kind of work through the carbs and sugars, so you don't want to overload it too much.
No, and it gets stuck in the liver, and that's what fatty liver is. So, and we have children with fatty liver, which used to be old alcoholic men or something, that, I mean, back in the day when you heard about that, because too much of alcohol is also sugar. I mean, I call it sugar because it's easy, it's a better word, I think, than carbs. It's too technical.
Yes. Okay. No, that's helpful. I don't think everybody necessarily connects sugar with carbs, but you're saying they kind of in the body are similar.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Similar.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they think about weight management or having a healthy body, they jump straight to calorie counting and dieting and exercising. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Obviously, it's not working. I mean, seriously. And I mean, I have personally not had an issue with weight, so it's easy for me to say, you might say, but let's just look at the numbers. We are 75% of the American population is overweight or obese. And it wasn't like that a generation ago, or 20 years or 40 years or 50 years. So something is not holding up. And if you do count calories, I think you have to run a marathon each day to keep up if you eat too much. I mean, so that's a lot of pressure on people. If you take off the pressure, I would say to look at the 4 pillars and try to take control over your whole you more, your breathing. I mean, it helps it does. So my take on it is there's not a silver bullet. We don't know how to help people enough. And we get very technical and we like to measure things. So you can measure calories, you can measure how much you're moving in different ways. Fine. But it's not working. And I'm trying to find ways to make it work for whoever I meet.
Yes, I heard another speaker talk about that. People jump to food and calories because they can measure and they feel like you can control it because it's like tangible. But yeah, that puts a lot of pressure and it doesn't necessarily help.
Yeah, and I told you about my little thing the other day, looking for a soup without sugar. How frustrating was that? So if you take that and multiply it by 1 million, if you are counting calories and worrying about things all the time, I mean, that's more worry in the body.
And stress.
Yes.
So I know in the beginning you talked about oral health and you're a dentist by training. And I know your method is the Lagom method. Is that connected to weight loss directly, or is it kind of just a part of your holistic health?
Oh, great question. So the Lagom method, the name I felt for me was perfect because I'm Swedish, and the Lagom in Swedish means not too much, or too little, just enough for you. So it's very personalized. So that's how I feel could be or is a good way to keep yourself in balance, because it's about you. It doesn't matter what other people do. And you have to find your own balance in all the 4 pillars. And I would like to add connectivity and love in your life, I think is huge. Or being around people that you get good energy from, meaning good vibes or however you call it. I think it adds to your happiness and feeling appreciated. So I think we need to just calm our system, but I'm not an expert on that specifically, but that's my feeling for all of this.
No, that's a good point. Because we are a system and everything's connected, and including, who you spend your time with, how you treat your body, all of it. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Well, thank you. And if people are interested in learning more about you, you mentioned you have a book, you have a system. Where can they learn more about you?
Oh, thank you. Yes. So I have a website, thelagommethod.com. And there you can find, you can find my book everywhere, basically. And I also have a course I throw out a few times a year. I started this fall, so it's only been a few times, where we go through the 4 pillars and make it very personal in small groups. And that's been a joy for me to do.
Great. Thank you. I know we had a chance to meet with you in a small group, and it was very fun to be able to think about the things that we could change in our own lives and share ideas with the group and get some motivation. Well,
that's my key. That's the smart thing. I mean, not smart being rude, but I love hearing when people connect over a few times. The group stays the same and we meet a few times, and the trust starts to build up. And then you share real things and help each other without being, coaching each other. It's just sharing, and people, I feel better now because I heard you do that, and I had the struggle with, XYZ. So that's been a true joy for me to do over the years. Because before I did a course, I was I called it circles. where I
Yeah.
had my groups for years. So I love
Yeah,
it.
no, that's great. And yeah, it's back to what you were saying. If you're surrounded with happy relationships and things that lift you up, it makes everything else easier.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was great chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is
Thanks
a
for joining
fantastic
us.
summit.